Hello everyone. So we are back. With me is Collier, the CEO of OpenStack Foundation, and this is the first time he is here with OpenStack India community in India, Bangalore, the garden city of India. So I welcome Mark to OpenStack India Day 2015.
Thank you.
So
it's great to be here.
I'm sure it's like a long day. You're engaging a lot with the service provider, enterprise. It's a mix of crowd. Even there are few students. So I would like to understand how's your experience so far.
Sure.
So from morning till noon.
Well, it's just been incredible. I mean, I had an opportunity to give the keynote this morning and just talk about where OpenStack's been and where it's going. And afterwards, I mean, there's so many people that just came up and wanted to talk about what they were already doing in OpenStack and how they could contribute more. And there's so many active technical contributors here, and you've been talking with some of them as well. A lot of them work with you, and so it's just great to be able to connect with the local community and actually talk to a number of large companies that were evaluating OpenStack. And then there's the ecosystem that's very strong here. A lot of the sponsors, they're part of this event. So it's just been awesome. I mean, and of course, my first time in India, first time in Bangalore. The weather's incredible. People said, "Oh, it might be hot." I'm like, "No, I'm from Texas, so this is nothing." This is a big break from the Texas heat. So the weather's been great. It's a fabulous city. So I mean, I'm just feel super lucky to be here.
Great. So Mark, we would like some of your insight about the customer that you're interacting, the larger emerging market segment as well from the media. It was an amazing keynote, by the way. You actually covered all the parts of the different types of companies, those who are running on the OpenStack. So what is the major challenge that you see when the customer is more curious about the OpenStack? So
I think a lot of it comes down to understanding the different components. And one of the things that we're starting to work on as a community is helping to organize all the different projects in a way that that you can learn it a little bit more quickly in terms of evaluating which pieces make sense. Because if you look at all the OpenStack clouds out there, there's certain core components within OpenStack that they all run. But then there's other projects, other services that you can almost think of as optional. So they may not apply for your use case or your application. So in that sense, every OpenStack cloud, the designer, the architect has to make some decisions. So these are some of the questions we get. Does Trove make sense for me? Well, if you've got a bunch of databases you want to automate, yeah, it saves you a lot of time. If you've only got a couple, it might be less trouble to just continue to manually manage them. Big data, you have Sahara. So there are all these things that kind of sit on top of what was kind of the original core of OpenStack. And a lot of times I think the users are looking for insight into who else is using it in this configuration, who else in my industry or with my type of workload, and how do they make those decisions, what's the architecture, which projects are they running, which versions and which distributions and so on. So trying to help gather and share that information amongst users is a big priority, and it really helps speed up adoption.
Great. So there's a perception in the market like OpenStack is only meant for the enterprise. But I work for a service provider as well. But that's the reason I'm saying it's a perception. So to scale OpenStack at a consumer scale, so we would definitely need service providers scaling features in the OpenStack, right? So how do you see the interest in the service provider?
Yeah, I think that you're right. There is maybe a misperception that it's only for enterprise, and I think part of that is because some of the early ecosystem companies that were founded or were building products based on OpenStack were targeting the enterprise, so that gets a lot of the voice out there and the message in the market. But the reality is that we already have dozens of public clouds, service providers running OpenStack powered clouds all over the planet. They're actually in more cities today than even Amazon has regions.
Wow.
And so you have to think about that aggregate power of all these different service providers running the same stack. It's effectively like one large OpenStack cloud, especially with Identity Federation coming on and the recent release of OpenStack. You can start to really tie these together and really treat it as one giant cloud. And so I think that's probably a story we should talk more about.
Yes.
Because there's more to it than a lot of people realize in terms of the traction. IBM is starting to really invest heavily in OpenStack, and not just a private cloud context, but public cloud, from HP, of course, and then a lot of other companies in different regions, all over the world. So,
So
it's a
what
good
is
story.
what is the largest nodes that you have come across? Some of the larger deployments across the globe.
Sure. So I mean, we have limited access to the precise numbers, but in my I guess educated opinion, I would say that the Rackspace public cloud is I would assume the largest in terms of the total number of nodes. And they've talked in kind of round numbers before, but I think that's probably still the largest out there. But IBM, I think in terms of where they're headed with the number of data centers they have and where they're rolling out over time, probably would be in the large side of that scale as well. And then on the private cloud side, I mean, people like PayPal and eBay that are running their e-commerce entirely on OpenStack. Walmart running all of their web tier on OpenStack today, and then the research side, CERN has I'm quite sure the largest research cloud, and actually just one of the largest clouds period for OpenStack. So those are a few of the ones that I know are.
Do we still
large.
the Nectar cloud? I think
The Nectar cloud is also another one. Yeah, see, I'm going to get in trouble now because I'm going to forget some. The Nectar cloud is actually in multiple data centers. It's one of the largest as well. So
I guess they were.
don't get me in trouble now.
All right. So Mark, there were a couple of amazing initiatives by Foundation. One of those were actually sponsoring the students and people across the globe to attend the conference,
Yes.
right? So travel support. Would you like to speak a few lines about the travel support program?
Sure, I think this is really important. The summits are all about bringing people together, and of course, all throughout the year we're communicating online and IRC and in mailing lists, but there's no substitute for getting together in person. And so, the summits are really super important in that regard. And so, we've continued to fund as a foundation this travel support program. We've continued to increase it each summit, and it's really about kind of helping people that have a lot to contribute, but maybe don't have the resources to make it, to get them there. And in this particular case for our upcoming Tokyo Summit, I should mention that the deadline is actually Monday, so I'm not sure when this contest is going to air, so may have missed the deadline. But we have that program ongoing for every summit. We've got 2 more summits coming up next year. So
Austin and Barcelona.
Yeah, Austin and Barcelona. So it's very important to us to fund this program, and it's been able to bring a lot of really passionate contributors to different summits that couldn't otherwise come. So.
Right. So, Mark, not taking much of your time, I really thank you very much for traveling this part of the country and encouraging the complete community. Those definitely we are going to get a lot of feedback from them. The last thing I would appreciate would be giving some piece of advice or anything to the Indian community and
Sure.
message. Right?
Yeah, so I mean, I think one of the things that's really amazing about OpenStack is that it's really created a lot of job opportunities for people, and I would say that if you are already an expert on OpenStack, you probably have found this has been good for your career. But please reach out, help someone else. Someone who maybe is a system administrator but doesn't know the ropes of OpenStack. Like, really help us grow that talent pool, because it's really important. I mean, that's what makes OpenStack successful, is the community. That's what makes it tick. And so if you're sort of just getting started, please take a look at something like documentation. Maybe you can contribute a patch to documentation. If you find a bug or you find an easier way to do an installation or some tip, that's one of the easiest ways to get started. So if you're an expert, reach out to some other people, expand the community. If you're just starting to join, find some of those folks that have been around longer, and let's keep growing this community together.
Thank you very much again, Mark.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.